Just a regular day in our city. What's good, YouTube? Target here and welcome to another episode of Design and Manage, my City Skylines Unmodded Let's Play series. On the last episode we have started the expansion of our city to the northern part of the map, and today we are going to continue working on it. So without further ado, I'm gonna take you to the building site. This is the area that I'm going to work on. Basically, I wanna see if I can fill this entire space with roads, this square over here. I'll have to make a road layout. I don't know how much time it's going to take me because I haven't thought of anything yet. I will have to pay particular attention to these highways. I need to see if I can make an efficient off and on points that will lead to the northern part of the city. So yeah, I'm gonna think of a layout, I'm going to start build, I'm gonna turn it into a time-lapse, and I will meet you in a couple of minutes. Enjoy the time-lapse, guys! Alright guys, second day of recording to me because this took way longer than it needed to be. I actually have 2 hours of footage to convert into a time-lapse, so yeah, that is going to be a challenge. The time-lapse that you have just watched just gave me a lot of work, or will give me a lot of work, because I still have to edit. But anyway, this is my layout. I know, it is very greedy and somewhat boring, but I will do some modifications as I place some buildings. What I want to do now is explain a little bit how this works, and then we will make some modifications live. So without further ado, let me show you what I've done. Okay, so I think it's better to start with the highway interchange. So what I've done is a rather compact layout. So if you come over here through this highway, you get a chance to go straight ahead. That will lead to the northern part of the city that is still not developed. Or you can turn right over here, and in this place you have the option to go through this tunnel that will lead you, let me show you, that will lead you through this loop that will go all around the highway and come about over here on this roundabout that will give you the option to go to this part of the city, or you can just go around the roundabout and come here, as you can see these cars are doing right now. Another option that you have is to go straight ahead and go through this tunnel over here that will lead you to, let me show you, this part of the city, where you get a chance to get off this point and this point as well. And finally, you can also come through this highway. Let me turn on the arrows. This is wrong actually. This is not a one-way road that I want to make, it's a normal one. There you go. Because I want cars to get through this road as well to leave the city. So as you can see, you can go around over here, this road, and get into this highway, make a U-turn, or you can go to the right side and be directed to this roundabout that will lead you to this part of the city. That was how you get into the city. Now let me explain how you get out of the city. So basically the layout is pretty much the same. I tried to make it very symmetrical. You can get onto this roundabout through this road or this road over here if you're on this part of the city. You get through this tunnel, come about over here, do a gigantic loop just like you did on the other side, and you get on this junction that will lead you to this highway. Likewise, you can actually take this tunnel that you have to grab from over here, or eventually over here when I develop this part of the city. And finally, you also get a chance of hopping on this roundabout over here by taking this road, and you can get through this road in here that goes right in the middle of the highways, just like this car is doing right now. As you can see, let's actually follow him and do exactly what he's doing and get out of the city from this point on. So as you can see, I've tried to give as many options as possible to get on and off of the city from here. One thing that is worth mentioning is that I didn't provide the option to get into this part of the highway to get to the northern part, so you cannot grab the highway over here to go here to the northern part. And that's because the distance is so short from here to here that it is actually much better to use the regular roads that you have over here. You will only be able to catch this highway to go to the northern part if you come from outside the city, but if you're already inside the city, inside this northern district, you can only go to the northern part by using the local roads that I will place in the future. Likewise, if you are coming from this part of the city, if you grab the highway over here that leads outside the city, you cannot get out on this point over here again because the distance is so short from here to here that it doesn't justify. The reason I've done this is because the city will pretty much end here. I will not expand it past this mountain that you see over here. I actually think I'm not even going to buy this tile in the northern part, so it pretty much does not justify to make a known point over here that will lead people to this location by highway. It's just too short. Alright, let's move on to the pedestrian pathways and also the cycling roads. I have made this pedestrian pathway over here that crosses the entire city and connects to the previously built pedestrian pathway. We can see that some citizens are actually already using it, which is quite strange because there is pretty much nothing here. So I don't know where this guy is going. He's going to the Madison residence and he's going by foot. What a champion. Anyway, I'm rambling. Yeah, that's it. You can catch this pedestrian path over here that will lead to every single building that will be over here and eventually will connect to the international train station. That's right. We are going to connect our city by trains and it was finally time for us to do that. But I'll explain this in a minute. Let's continue with the pedestrian pathways. So if you cross the entire city As I've said, you got a chance to leap off here and go to the train station, or you can just keep going forward to the northern part of the city. You can also turn left on this intersection that will lead you to the western part of the city, or you can turn right and actually go through here, cross the entire highway and connect with the previously built pathway. You can also up right about over here, where you will connect to this cycling road that I will present to you in a second, or you can continue and connect to this pathway that will connect this entire area and again will lead you to the eastern part of the city. So I tried pretty much to connect every single point of the city by pedestrian pathway, and I think it will turn out to be very efficient, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, moving on to the cycling road. If you remember, I had this cycling road that I've built in the past that leads to the, I think it's the South Park. Yeah, it connects all the way over here to the southern part of the city, the coastal area. And I pretty much continue that pathway by making a tunnel over here. Let me see if I can show you. You kind of make a tunnel, go right below the highway and the road, up on over here, cross the highway and continue to the northern part of the city, where you have the chance to go left and eventually go to the eastern part, not eastern, western part of the city, or you can go forward through this little tunnel and turn right to lead you to the eastern part of the city, or keep going forward through this very straight cycling road that will lead you to the north, where you can hop off over here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, actually I also have another connection that will lead you to this part. But yeah, that's pretty much it for our pathway connections. Finally, let's talk about our train connection. So I pretty much continue this railroad and I made an off point for the trains to come here and unload, so that the main railway doesn't get crowded when trains stop in this station. I've also remade this interchange over here, this rail interchange. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm not sure if I'm completely satisfied with it, but it looks very organic and I think it looks good overall, so I think we're gonna keep it. Regarding the plans for future expansion, I plan the monorail to come through this avenue right on the eastern part of the city, cross about at this point, connect over here and providing an access point to the railway, and curving about over here and leaving through this avenue. But that's gonna be material for another episode. For now, let's just work a bit on this layout because there are quite a few details that I want to work on. Alright, so the first thing that I want to do is work a bit on our park. This is going to be the expansion of our sunken park. And I pretty much do not like the shape that it makes. It looks like a I don't know how to call it, a weird rectangle shape with a tail, and I don't like it, so I think I'm gonna expand this layout and I'm gonna follow this road over here that I'm highlighting with my mouse, and I'm gonna sunk this part well, and all of this is going to be the park. So let's just work on that. For that I need to delete this road over here, get rid of this. I will unfortunately have to get rid of the pathways for a while, and also these roads, the trees as well, and we can now sunk everything. Let's take care of that. Alright, that's pretty good. I think that's going to be the final shape of our sunken park. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue the avenue that we had. Let's see if I can do this perfectly straight, and I need to bring it up over here. Hopefully this will turn out okay. Let's see if the height... I actually think this is too low, so I'm gonna raise it up a bit more. And now I can just try and hopefully connect... Oh, that's terrible. Let's try to do it like this. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm okay with that. That's fine. And we need to continue our pedestrian pathway. So let's take care of that. I think I'm gonna make another elevated pedestrian pathway that goes in the middle of the park. Alright, I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good layout. And eventually I will modify it because this pedestrian path that you see over here is going to come over here, and eventually I will want a connection with this curve and also with this part around here. So yeah. Another thing that I want to do is touch a bit on the districts. Well, not all districts, just one particular district, which is the Dashboard Ferry Park. I pretty much want to continue this district to cover the entire Sunken Park, because I will need these buildings that will go right on the edge to be a specific type of buildings. I want them to be tourism, self-sufficient buildings, and also the high-T cluster buildings. So for that I'm gonna start zoning everything right away, because I think that's the perfect time to do it and not after everything is zoned. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start right now. Okay, so the entire district is now zoned and we don't have to worry anymore about that. And I think that's going to be it for this part of the city. I think we've made quite a bit of work over here now, and quite frankly I'm tired of placing roads by now, so I think we are going to move on to other parts of our city and continue this in the future. As you can see, while I was zoning the district we had quite a bit of problems with electricity, so I think it's a good time to address that. Alright, here's something that most of you probably don't remember. I've built this small ecological power supply in one of my earliest episodes, I don't remember which one, and I completely forgot this existed, to be quite frankly with you. Yeah, that's quite embarrassing, but anyway, I think I'm gonna replace all of this in the future because I don't like how it looks, and when I get the nuclear power plant, all of this will become obsolete pretty much. I also want to work with other power options that I've never used before, such as this thing, the solar updraft tower, and also the geothermal power plant. But for the time being, while we are in the yellow zone, I think the wind turbines or the advanced wind turbines will actually be a good option for now, so I'm just gonna place a lot of them, trying to get those 20 megawatts, and I will delete all of them in the future. We also seem to have quite a bit of demand for industry, so I think I am going to place some industrial buildings and see if the issue gets addressed. It's time to replace all the factories that we have removed in the past. And actually I don't want to zone anything over here, just about in this location. Yeah, I think we can put a small factory near the what's this, the fire station, yeah. And we can also start zoning on this area over here. I will want a couple of buildings in here, and I will also want a couple of buildings, not over here, sorry, in this location. That is good. And I think it's finally time for us to make a proper pedestrian off point, and this is not what I want to do. Go up. Let me take off the road guidelines and lower everything to this point. Get rid of this and finally zone this with some industry. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm okay with that. I actually think I'm gonna place another connection in here and dezone this, so we can have a full-sized industrial building in here. That's good. On the last episode I showed you that we had quite some issues with this particular bus connection, this bus network on this island. So I think we can start fixing that. The first thing that I want to do is grab the pink line that I cannot grab, or I can, at least this side, and place it on the other side of the road, just to make things not look as crowded. And I need to hide this one. Where can I do that? Oh, is this one, so I'm gonna turn it invisible for the time being, so that I can grab the pink line and set it over here. Good. And now I can make the blue line visible again, and that should help us a little bit. At least now we can understand that the blue line is definitely the issue. Let's try and see why. And that is because that is the only bus line that leads people to this metro station. So what I think I can do is delete one of these lines. Let me check which one I want to delete. I will probably delete this blue line because it has very little passengers. As you can see, it has 23 on one side and 51 on the counterclockwise side. So I'm pretty much gonna modify them, and let's see what can I do with this. Alright guys, so I have reworked the entire dark blue line completely and deleted the connection from the ferry stop over here, and I also made it connect to the metro station. Alright guys, I managed to have a much more distributed passenger flow. So if you come over here, you see that now there are a lot of passengers of different colors, and I also managed to get some people on these stations as well. So yeah, it seems that this issue is somewhat fixed. But anyway guys, that's going to be it for today. We have managed to make quite a lot of progress on this episode. I hope you are satisfied. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it, it really helps out my channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to follow the development of this city. And finally, if you want to connect with me on social media, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have fun.